Welcome to Dominate Your Day. I'm excited to have Beate Chelette with us from Germany by now in LA for 30 years. Beate has been through an amazing life of challenges and I'm going to call you an overcomer. Created businesses and went through several downturns, but actually was able to sell one of her businesses to Bill Gates. Did you have a good business mentor, or do you feel like that was just innate? Did you have people that you were surrounding yourself with that had gone before you, kind of guiding you, or what? Who did you lean on as you were?
Yes, I think that the thing that I did is number one, industry associations. So you got to go to those conferences and listen to your peers to understand what they're doing, how they're doing it, and what, and what works and what doesn't work. You also want to always look for strategic partnership and alliances, because that is the other piece about being successful, is to make sure you lean on people, as you said, that have walked that walk before. I think that what happens in the beginning, you probably go a little bit too broad because you know you can do different things, or you had to do different things. So it's important for you to keep narrowing down to what you're really most passionate about. So we do three things: strategy, systems, and authority platform building. And authority platform building for us is a client attraction system, because you cannot build your authority unless you are serving people, and you want to be in front of the right people. Very typically what happens, Dana, is that somebody who is newer is more inclined to start from the ground up, because we have that forever good girl syndrome, the proving ourselves, that having to showcase that that's our value. When I built the business that I sold, I went for the A list. I didn't go for the C. I went for A, because I figured that A has that cloud and that insight that really makes that difference in getting me there fast. And once you have the A-listers, the B and the C coming automatically, because they want to be where the big guys are. And then you really need to get clear. To me, it always goes back down to the system. Because if I have a system and I can say, I created the system based on my experience. Now you're not a coach. Now you're not a consultant. Now you're not another expert. Now you're somebody who has who actually created something that is a journey that can be explained. So every book, on whether that's the entrepreneur system or whatever, it's all, you have to have something in place that you can say, well, when we work together, I'll take you through my 3-step, 5-step, 7-step system. And here is, in the first one, we do this, in the second, we do this, and in the third one, we do that. That is what creates that expert authority status, because then when you talk about it, you don't talk about my journey as a coach came from when I was working in the corporate job. I slaved away for 20 years and then they treated me badly. I quit, or they fired me. I had to figure it out. And now I'm a coach, or now I'm an expert in this industry. It really changes when you give a much more specific piece to your customer or to your client or your prospect and say, allow me to take you through how this works. Okay? So in my world, I'm going to give you a very concrete example so your audience knows exactly what I'm talking about. So I created the 5-star success blueprint. And I call it the 5-star success blueprint because it has, of course, 5 stars. And because it is a journey, and the journey is very simple. The first star is the idea. Is the idea clear? Who is the idea for? Who wants the idea? What problem does the idea solve? Then and only then can you go to star number 2, and that is the offer. Because the offer has to solve the problem that we just identified in the first star. And it is amazing to me how many people start with the offer and never think about what the actual idea is or what the problem is that they're solving. Once you have the idea and the offer that solves the problem, then you go to building the systems. Now, I just was on a call today. The systems cannot work if the offer is not clear. So you can throw any system at it and they kind of dilly-dally along, even your client attraction system. But if the offer is not clear because the idea isn't clear, you're wasting your time. You're going to try one system after another. It can't work. And then and only then do we go to teams, and then we go to the leader, so that we arrive at the ideal state where the leader knows what he needs to do to lead the team that runs the system, that operates the offer, that solves the problem for the client. And so when I now am in a conversation with anybody or on a podcast or I'm speaking, and people say, well, tell us what we should do. I say, it's very simple. 5-star success blueprint. Just follow the path. And then they say, oh, now I see I missed doing the idea before I did the offer. Is that my problem? I'm like, well, yes. Or I keep throwing systems at this. I have every system known to womankind or mankind, but it's not working. I said, well, what's the offer? Well, they just come to me and then we'll coach for 6 months. I said, that's not an offer.
And you know what it is? There's so many people out there selling stuff like that. And so people think, oh, I'm a coach now. I just left my business. I'm going to start doing this. I think there's more entrepreneurs now than ever before. And so there's I think there's just a lot of bad information out there. So I appreciate the fact that you're clarifying for so many of them. How have you become resilient? How have you developed yourself for the next phase? And what are some pieces of advice you would give people from those lessons you learn?
I think that the biggest lesson, and I talk about this a lot, is you just cannot take failure personal. It is not that the universe is conspiring against you. And I compare this with another story. If you would be driving in your city and you use your GPS, but you didn't do the last update. And now you're going where you normally would go, but the road's blocked off, they're building a bridge or a metro or whatever, and the road is closed. It's a cul-de-sac now. You're not going to stop, get yourself out of the car, throw yourself on the ground, throw a temper tantrum, go like, I can't believe they closed that road. I mean, they're so mean to me. Why are they doing that? I mean, you're not going to do it. You're going to be an adult. You're going to get back in the car. You're going to go, note to self, please update the GPS next time. Or, damn, they're spending a lot of money on that bridge. And you go around and you find a different way because you still know your destination is there. And so when you look at failure, that's what I want you to do, is I want you to look at it. It's like, okay, we even have a kind man with a big stop sign standing there and says, this is not the way. So all you need to do is really say, thank you. Yes, I think